Hello friends, welcome into the Cowboys Report presented by the MyTV Choice app. Go get the app today at mytvchoice.com to get rid of commercials during March Madness. NFL Draft is almost here. Let's have a different type of Cowboys Mock Draft today. As some of you have suggested on Twitter and on YouTube comments, how about an offense-only mock draft? We'll do defense only if this one does well. Now, the purpose here is to see who could be on the board. Shut up, producer Brett. Who could be on the board for the Cowboys if they only target offensive players with each of those picks? Now, that's going to mean there's double dipping later on in the draft, but it does allow you to fill all the offensive needs. And please don't yell at me, why didn't the Cowboys take a safety? It's offense only. So, round 2, pick number 58. Here were some of the guys on the board. Emmanuel Hall, DEEBO Samuel, Andy Isabella. 3 receivers I like. There's also tight end Dawson Knox. And there's also offensive tackle Caleb McGarry, which in most of the mocks I've done, he hasn't actually been there. That did tempt me a little bit. But I've done it before. I'm going to do it again. Give me DEEBO Samuel in this offense-only mock draft. He is a perfect fit for what I want the Cowboys like and what I think the Cowboys want to be like. Can play inside and out, and oh, by the way, at least in year 1, if Randall Cobb plays well, he can help you on kick and punt returns as well. So even with the Randall Cobb pickup, the addition of DEEBO Samuel makes a lot of sense. And if he's on the board at 58, I actually would not be surprised if Dallas went this route. I'm not sure he's going to be. I think they're going to target a safety instead, but they've shown interest in Samuel, so he is at least on their radar. So for him being on the board at 58, going offense only, that makes way too much sense to me in the end for the Cowboys there. I like that fit a lot for the Cowboys. Even with Randall Cobb, who remember is only on a 1-year deal, so to an extent, we're kind of targeting future additions here and future impact, though Samuel would make one as well in year 1. Now, today's show is brought to you by the MyTV Choice app. Go get the app today at mytvchoice.com. Download it, sign up, install it, and hey, it knows when commercials comes on. That way, you don't have to listen through them anymore. Instead, you can have great chat sports content sent right to your TV. Go download the app, mytvchoice.com. Let's move then to round 3. Now I have regrets because Andy Isabella's there. I don't think that's going to happen in real life, but that's how this sim went down. McCole Hardman is there as well. The tight end I'm intrigued by, Dax Raymond. I don't love it. I wish Dawson Knox was there. David Montgomery, even offense only. I don't want a running back in round 3. And maybe a name you guys haven't heard of. Titus Howard out of Alabama State, who was a high school quarterback, walked on to Alabama State to play tight end, and developed surprisingly well for him. So I'm going to pick Titus Howard here in round 3 with pick number 90 overall. He's raw. He definitely needs refinement as well, but this is the type of offensive tackle that I think you want to have if you're the Dallas Cowboys. You bring him in. You don't have to play him in year 1. Now, remember, this is offense only, so you're not going to get the biggest impact that you might have on if you went defense instead. But you bring in Howard, he might be your La'el Collins replacement next year. If Collins walks in free agency, Titus develops well under Mark Colombo and the rest of the offensive line. That's intriguing. Now, to an extent, he is kind of that small school offensive tackle. Good athlete, a lot of ability and traits to work with, but the physical technicality and the refinement isn't quite there. There's been some very brief buzz he could go way earlier than this. I heard at one point round 1 mention. That doesn't make any sense to me. But if he's there at pick number 90, even in the real draft, if you do include defense, I'm open to that idea. Now, as it relates to the offensive line, do the Cowboys need to draft an offensive tackle this year? Type 1 for yes, type 0 for no. As I kind of explained in our needs video, I don't think you have to take offensive tackle. If there's one there that you like, awesome, go for it. Makes a lot of sense. But you're not forced into it because you do have Tyron Smith, La'el Collins, and Cam Fleming for at least this coming season. Let's move then to round 4, pick number 1 at 28. Since we took care of receiver and tackle, let's go running back here. And for those of you that want Justice Hill, I get it. You aren't going to like what I'm about to say. Justice Hill went off the board 1 pick before me to the Eagles, which is really painful for me. So I'm looking at backs here. Devin Singletary, I'm intrigued by. Really good on-field production, but the testing was a disaster. Same with Elijah Holyfield. Ronnie Anderson has some injury concerns there. And then Mike Weber, the Cowboys have brought him in for a visit. But let's go with more of a local kid here. Let's go with Tavon Williams out of Texas A&M. Super productive in that final year with the Aggies. And he's got big playability. 10 plays of 30-plus yards last year for Texas A&M. That's pretty good. Now, the agility on film and in testing isn't really there, and he is a bit on the short side, but I'm fine with my running backs being 5'8", 206. That's not a big concern for me. He's willing in the pass blocking game. That's a big deal for me if you're going to bring him in on third downs. He can catch a little bit as well. So I wanted Justice Hill. Thought he was going to be a pick, and I would have made all you guys happy because I know a lot of you guys love Hill. Went off the board one pick before me. So instead, I went with Tavon Williams here. I think that makes sense for the Cowboys. I think he could be a good partner. Well, I guess backup partner to Zeke Elliott because they're not on the same level whatsoever. As we go through these offensive picks here, I do want to know from you guys, what's the Cowboys' biggest offensive need? Let me know in the comment section. I think it's receiver because especially long-term, I am less confident in the depth behind Gallup and Cooper than I am with tight end. But tight end's right there alongside those two. They're pretty close for me. So let me know in the comment section, what is the biggest offensive need for the Cowboys? We mentioned tight end. Let's take care of that. Round 4, pick number 136. They got KADEN Smith. I'll be honest, I'm not taking back-to-back Stanford tight ends. I refuse to do it. Drew Sample, the Cowboys have shown interest in, but I think round 4, 136 a little bit early for him. Trayvon Wesco is really, really big. He's intriguing, but I don't love it. So it came down for me between two SEC tight ends, Foster Moreau and Isaac Nauta. I'm going to go with Foster Moreau for one big reason. Both were mostly used as blocking tight ends in the SEC. I think both have better upside in the NFL than what they were used in college. But Moreau, despite very poor production, tested really well. Now, he was listed like 6'6". He's not actually that big at the combine, 6'4" and a quarter, 253, but measured in really well in the jumping testing, in the speed and agility testing. That indicates to me that he has the upside, and I saw this on film a little bit too, has the upside to be more impactful in the NFL than maybe he was in college. Now, it is a late round 4 pick, so remember what happens in late round 4. You're not always going to hit. It is a bit of a developmental type guy here, but he has enough blocking that at worst, I think, he can be a good backup for you with the upside to be more. That's a worthwhile pick in round 4 of the NFL Draft. Now, today's show is brought to you guys by BetDSI, the internet's #1 sportsbook. They're going to have all kinds of NFL draft prop bets. I already hit on one. If Antonio Brown trade would be announced on draft night, easy no, free money right there from BetDSI. So go sign up, use that promo code Cowboys120 at chatsports.com/bet. You will not find a better betting deal out there. Let's move to round 5, where in reality, we've checked off most of the offensive needs already. So let's talk about double dipping here. Do you want Stanley Morgan? Do you want Ole Udoh, another developmental offensive tackle? Terry Godwin's there. Or maybe you want a backup quarterback. What about Ryan Finley? Or my pick here in round 5, Brett Rypien out of Boise State. Now, we know the Cowboys love their Boise State players. That producer Brett's shaking his head. That is a verifiable fact, sir. Now, with Rypien, I actually like him quite a bit. I don't think he's going to become a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, but I think he could be a really, really good backup. And at least gives you some, okay, Dak gets hurt, we're not dead in the water, which I kind of think they might be if Rush or White has to play right away. Of course, he has the bloodlines. I'm sure you know his Uncle Mark. Wasn't as good in 2017, bounced back this year. The red flags for me in terms of the tape stuff, because I just finished up his evaluation for some NFL content we'll do this week. He's undersized in terms of both height and body mass. Doesn't have that strong of an arm. It's definitely on the weaker side. It's barely enough. Middling at the worst case, average at the best there. Now, on the upside, I think he's good under pressure and he's pretty accurate. And those two things there, that strikes me as a backup type quarterback. So for round 5, I'm open to it. So if you want to go quarterback, which one would you rather draft? Give me BR for Brett Rypien and RF for Ryan Finley. Now, we've done a bunch of mock drafts before. Not everyone likes them. That's okay. I appreciate that. That's the point of the NFL Draft, right? We all have different opinions. Some are true, some are wrong, some are dumb, some are smart. We'll see what comes true like 5 years from now. You guys don't always like my mock drafts, and I'm okay with that. We're going to get to some of the questions here. This basically is now going to be the Tom Reed's Mean Comments section of today's show. From Eagle Alien, hashtag Tom Downey. First off, thanks for making my name into a hashtag. Appreciate it. I know wrong your. Also, your caps lock is stuck in random points here. Just into making noise, but honestly, we need guys to start now, is what he says. So, yes. Ideally, you get starters in the NFL draft. That's the point, right? One issue. You're not picking until pick number 58. The reality is of the NFL draft in round 2, round 3, round 4, you're normally not going to get day 1 starters, especially when your roster's in pretty good shape. Find guys that can make an impact in year 1 and become starters down the road. Jack Lively says, and this is based on my last mock draft, by the way, a lot of undersized so-so players, that would be a bad draft. You're entitled to your opinion, my friend. Justin says, find players who have played top or really good defense. That kid from Iowa is a bust. I don't understand your mock drafts. I mean, they're dictated by logic, but whatever, Justin. Now, question for you. Do you mean top as in the player themselves are really good, or their defenses are good? Because you follow that up with the Iowa kid. Iowa was number 11 in defense last year, so I'm a little confused as to which part you're hitting there. The lack of punctuation doesn't really help me much either. My favorite one, though, from Leland Prophet, thumbs down on your mock draft, dork. Then someone responded to him and said, wait, who are you talking to? And he goes, Tom Dork Downey and his crap picks. Sorry if that's your uncle. First off, do I look like an uncle? Because I don't know if, everyone says yes here in the studio, so, I mean, that's probably fair. Can I at least be the fun uncle? Can I at least agree on that one there? Also, no one has ever called me Dork Downey. I love that nickname. I'm going to make it my Twitter handle at some point before the draft, just for you there. And then finally, Eric Morton says, I'd rather take a player with upside of Jalen Hurd than a random corner in round 7. So, make sure you guys are subscribed, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. We're going to do a live mock draft for you guys in a little bit, and you guys get to make the pick. So you can all argue with each other, and then at the end, you guys won't like the picks, and it'll be pretty funny, and we'll have a good laugh about it. So, subscribe, youtube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. We'll have some fun with the mock draft stuff. Obviously, guys, I don't mind this. This is fun to me. If I had thin skin, we wouldn't be able to do this. So feel free to throw in your best burns in the comments section. We will all have a nice, fun laugh about it. Now, we do still have one more pick here for our Cowboys mock draft. Round 7, Anthony Johnson's there. I like Benny Snell a lot. Hunter Renfro's there. I like James Williams a lot. And Jalen Hurd is there. You know what? I'm going to give this one to you guys. Jalen Hurd is the pick here in round 7. I would have liked any of those players off the board there in round 7. I don't think Hurd's going to be there, quite frankly. Former Tennessee back was used as a kind of a big slot. There are still some developmental stuff I need him to do. But in terms of upside, and we're going offense only here, why not? I'm on board with this pick. It's kind of like the Bo Scarborough pick. Hurd's going to come in as like a early to mid day 3 grade for me in the end. But we're talking end of day 3. Basically, an undrafted free agent. So Hurd in round 7, that's an A grade in my eyes. Great size, he can move. There were too many drops on film, but the idea of Hurd, potentially even as a practice squad guy in year 1, makes a whole lot of sense to me. But remember, these are round 7 players. What that means is most of them aren't going to make the roster. Everyone freaked out about getting Bo Scarborough, and then he got cut. So just remember, the expectations change the further and later you go into the NFL draft. So Hurd goes off the board there round 7. Let's recap them here. DEEBO Samuel round 2, Titus Howard round 3, Tavon Williams round 4, Foster Moreau, Brett Rippin goes round 5, and Jalen Hurd in round 7. Again, this was the offense-only mock draft. No defensive players were taken, so grade my mock draft. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comment section. And again, make sure you're subscribed. YouTube.com/Dallas Cowboys Report. We will do a live mock draft for the Cowboys for you guys, so make sure you're subscribed. And turn on notifications too. That way you know once we go live. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.